Welcome to today's episode. We're going to be taking some characters from My Hero Academia and turning them into dinosaurs. So let's bring these illustrations to life. Deano Dinoclaw was enjoying a stroll on his visit to the Department of Multiversal Matters. He'd been called in to his expertise in the strange and unique folklore of dinosaurs across the multiverse. He's often come to the Department of Multiversal Matters to consult on new species and observe them. That being said, due to the size of the Department of Multiversal Matters, Deano Dinoclaw has only met a few of the higher members of the organisation. It was on one such occasion that Deano Dinoclaw was called in to give a briefing about the strange dinosaurs that seem to resemble the inhabitants of Earth 681, a world where people who live there have special abilities and powers that they were born with, called quirks. The dinosaurs were thought to be from a similar dimension known as Earth 696. This is a world where there are prehistoric counterparts to those that inhabit Earth 681. Anyway, let's join Deano Dinoclaw in his lecture to discover a little bit more about some of the strange species of dinosaurs in this version of Earth. Hello and welcome to today's class. I'm your lecturer for the day and my name is Deano Dinoclaw. The briefing will cover a few of the species from Earth 696. The first is a form of raptor that's the ability of a young man known as Bakugo, or by his rather unique hero name, Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite. A bit of a mouthful, I assure you. Due to this, we have designated this raptor EMR, which is short for Explosive Murder Raptor. This wondrous but deadly creature has feathers on the top of his head that look like they're part of a mask-type pattern on the face. A red cross on his chest and what looks like a green pattern on his black body can be seen, even though the face and neck are green in colour. This raptor has what looks like red eyes along its tail. These are in fact just decoration to ward off those who would see it as prey and might want to attack it. Like all raptors, the Explosive Murder Raptor has razor-sharp claws and teeth. However, this creature has an extremely volatile personality and is quick to attack its prey or opponent with what can be described as an amazing move. Like its counterpart, the Explosive Murder Raptor can create explosions from its front claws from the same type of quirk, a form of nitroglycerin sweat. Over time, the Explosive Murder Raptor learned to use this attack to quickly travel short distances in the air, and even change direction, allowing for some amazing mid-air combinations and strikes using its tail. You can imagine my surprise when I saw it could do this. Everything you think you know about any dinosaur you have learned in the past? Although, at a base level, these majestic creatures have special abilities that are known as quirks, and they are similar to normal dinosaurs, I recommend you forget it right now. These awe-inspiring creatures will cause unsuspecting prey to drop their guards the first time they are seen. At that time, the Explosive Murder Raptor will take full advantage and use its unique ability to dash towards the victim at breakneck speeds. On many such occasions, the initial teams from the Department of Multiversal Matters were decimated by this apex predator. Moving on, we have our first edge case of a dinosaur that throws out what you know about the group of dinosaurs known as herbivores. As most of you may already know, the Stegosaurus species of dinosaur is a plant eater and will not eat meat or other creatures, including tasting their blood. The next dinosaur from Earth 696 is perhaps the exception to the rule. This creature is the counterpart to the hero killer stain from Earth 681. The rather unique and somewhat out of place ability was perfect in a crisis, but more suited in nature for a carnivore instead of a herbivore. It was the ability to paralyze any creature it tasted the blood of. This ability does vary from blood type, changing the duration of the paralyzing effect. This can be perfect in a crucial moment when being attacked by some of the more powerful dinosaurs and their abilities. The only drawback is being a herbivore by nature, its teeth are designed to chew plants rather than to rip the flesh of other creatures. This is where the creatures developed a rather unique way to get blood. Unlike most Stegosaurus, this one, known as Bloodegasaurus, has razor-sharp metallic plates on its back and tail. These are sharp enough to cut through the flesh of most powered dinosaurs. This has enabled the Bloodegasaurus to get the blood needed for its ability, especially when attacked in order to finish off its foe or to make a hasty retreat if required. The dinosaur also has a unique feature. It seems to have no nose. It is unknown if this is something from birth, but we suspect that it is something to do with the personality and demeanour of this creature. Maybe one day it cuts off its nose for some unknown reason, like its counterpart staying in Earth 681. Either way, this rather unique and fascinating physical feature of this wonderful dinosaur makes it easily identifiable. This somewhat strange and interesting dinosaur is clearly noticeable by the bandage-like pattern on its skin, on the top of its head and front legs. Light grey in colour with a darker coloured pattern on its skin. The most notable feature is that the skin around the neck of this dinosaur is red in colour, resembling more of a scarf than actual flesh. It is clear that this very recognisable look to the Bloodegasaurus does not make it an easier target. In fact, this rather identifiable look warns other creatures to keep clear entirely, especially if they have witnessed or survived an encounter with this rather stunning specimen of superpowered dino DNA. Just a word of warning from studying this creature, but be sure not to let it taste your blood. It would appear that the ability of causing paralysis works on the blood of any creature. After those two rather splendid examples of dinosaurs from Earth 696, I think it is an appropriate time to let you know about the most dangerous and perhaps the most unique dinosaur we have discovered. This one being assigned the name of Omnisaur. The reason for this is its unique ability, an ability we'll cover a little later on. This amazing creature has a variety of looks, including one that's like an amalgamation of multiple dinosaurs into one. Several different dinosaur heads, multiple limbs, and even multiple mouths have been observed on the Omnisaur. If you have studied the inhabitants of Earth 681, you might be able to figure out who the Omnisaur is a counterpart to. In fact, this deadly and extremely dangerous creature is one to avoid at all costs. This is due to its rather unique and terrifying ability. The Omnisaur can take on the abilities of those it encounters, causing this dinosaur to continually evolve and grow stronger in strength over time. The only thing that makes this creature identifiable, regardless of the form it takes, is the mass-type skull plating on its head, and what looks like bone pipes sticking out from its cheeks. Regardless of how much the Omnisaur can take the form of other creatures in order to use their abilities, this feature remains the same. The reason for this is unknown, but we theorise that since this is a parallel universe to Earth 696, it could be that the nemesis of the Omnisaur has caused such extensive damage that it is unable to repair the damage to its head. If this is the case, it stands to reason that the Omnisaur is blind and cannot hear. However, this has not hindered the dinosaur in any way. In fact, you would not be able to tell that the Omnisaur had no eyes or hearing from the way it moves about or interacts. This is due to the unique ability of this dinosaur. It can take on the abilities of those it has encountered and use them at will. Any physical abilities will change the form of its body when used, hence the amalgamation of dinosaur parts I mentioned earlier. We believe just the smallest sample of DNA ingested by the Omnisaur will give it the abilities of another creature, even if it's from a corpse on the ground. This alone would be truly overwhelming. However, there is a second side to the Omnisaur's ability, which has shown a much more sadistic and malevolent side to this dinosaur's personality. Just like its counterpart from Earth 696, the Omnisaur can also give abilities it has gained to others, often using this to cause chaos and to seemingly watch the outcome, enjoying the expense of other creatures being used for its own amusement. This is why I mentioned the important aspect of the main head of the Omnisaur being unable to change form. It is perhaps the only way to identify this creature amongst those it has altered and left in a weird amalgamation of sorts. It is also worth mentioning that despite this, the true form of the Omnisaur is not known. It would appear the Omnisaur can grant the abilities to other creatures beside the dinosaurs roaming around in Earth 681. We won't go into details today, but that might be something for our next lecture. How do you guys think the artwork this time came out? It was a bit of a quick fire video, but really pleased with them all. I think my favourite one has to be the Explosive Murder Raptor. Monday's video is going to be a compilation of the Multiverse story arc to have one video that will catch everyone up to speed from the very first one with Soundwave vs Venom up to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Venomized. So be sure to check that out. Stay safe everybody. Catch you next time.